every song has a story. Every song has a story.
Yellow Rose of Texas.
Okay, that's the song that got me into this business, believe it or not. I've done this for 23 years, but before that I had a Western Korean, and we did the Yellow Rose of Texas. He was owned by a guy by the name of James Morgan, and what he did was he would buy slaves at auctions, he would turn around and put them into indentured servantship so they could earn papers to be free blacks in the United States. He actually earned them their freedom. He bought Emily, he sold her to a family in Galveston, Texas, and in 5 years she would be a free woman. She could go anywhere she wanted. But anyway, in 1836, Santa Anna's army raids Galveston, Texas, and they kidnap Emily. They take her across the Rio Grande. In 1836, Texas was a republic. It had its own army. So 91 Texas soldiers tracked Santa Anna's army across the Rio Grande. They find their camp, they wait till these guys go to siesta, and they all take a nap in the afternoon, so that minimizes the amount of people active in camp. The 91 soldiers attacked them, routed the Mexican army, found Emily, took her back to Galveston, and one of those 91 men wrote the Yellow Rose of Texas in her honor. It became a minstrel show hit. The sheet music was finally published in 1857. Now, there's a strong Civil War connection to this song. John Bell Hood, who was a famous Confederate general, was badly wounded in 1862. When he recovered from those wounds, he was given an entire brigade of nothing but Texas soldiers. And these guys became known as Hood's Texans. And everywhere they went, they bivouacked, and the only song they knew was the Yellow Rose of Texas. And they annoyed people for miles around with that song. They became famous for doing the Yellow Rose of Texas. The rest of the Confederate Army couldn't stand it. Of course, Hood became the commander of the Confederate Army in Georgia in the summer of 1864, and the very first thing he did was gave up Atlanta for General Sherman. He took the remnants of his army and he was going to attack Nashville, Tennessee. He put them into action in December of 1864 at Franklin and had his army completely decimated, just wasted. He lost 6 generals in one battle. He lost I don't know how many men, and that part of the Confederate Army ceased to exist. So a soldier from Georgia took the Yellow Rose of Texas and rewrote the final verse. And he wrote it, he mentions General Beauregard, he mentions General Lee, and General Joe Johnson, who they called Uncle Joe. And they loved him, but they're not very nice to John Bell Hood. So, first 2 verses are the way it was written in 1836. The last verse will be for John Bell Hood. There's a yellow rose in Texas that I am going to see. No other soldier knows her, no soldier, only me. She cried so when I left her, it like to broke her heart. And if we ever meet again, we never more will part. She's the sweetest little rosebud this soldier ever knew. Her eyes are bright as diamonds, they sparkle like the dew. You can talk about your dearest May and sing of Rosalie. The Yellow Rose of Texas is the only girl for me. Where the Rio Grande is flowing and the starry skies are bright, she walks along the river on a quiet summer night. She thinks if I remember what I told her long ago, I always would come back again and never leave her so. She's the sweetest little rosebud this soldier ever knew. Her eyes are bright as diamonds, they sparkle like the dew. You can talk about your dearest May and sing of Rosalie. The Yellow Rose of Texas is the only girl for me. This is the verse written for John Bell Hood. My feet are torn and bloody and my heart is full of woe. I'm going home to Georgia to find my Uncle Joe. You can talk about your Beauregard and sing of Bobby Lee. The gallant Hood of Texas, he paid heck in Tennessee. She's the sweetest little rosebud this soldier ever knew. Her eyes are bright as diamonds, they sparkle like the dew. You can talk about your dearest May and sing of Rosalie. The Yellow Rose of Texas is the only girl for me. The Yellow Rose of Texas beats the bells of